Hello students, today is the last part of the first unit, that is part 8. In this part, we are going to study reactions in solutions. In the previous class, you studied empirical formula, molecular formula and the problems associated with them. Today, let us start with reactions in solutions. What exactly is a solution? Solution is a homogeneous mixture. You have come across homogeneous mixtures in the very first class. They mix there, the components mix completely with each other. So, this solution is also a homogeneous mixture of mainly two components. The minor component is called solute and the major component is called solvent. Solution is dravana, solute is dravya, and solvent is dravaka. So, a solution is made up of mainly two components, solute and the solvent. You have many examples for solutions. Sugar dissolved in water. Sugar is the solute, water is the solvent. Salt dissolved in water. Salt is the solute and water is the solvent. So, these are examples for solutions. Now, when do you say a sugar solution given to you is strong? In our common language, we say a solution is strong. By strong, we mean that the solute, the sugar content present in the solution is more. When we say the coffee is strong, it means that more coffee powder is dissolved in milk. When we say a coffee is light, it means that the coffee powder dissolved is less. Okay, similarly, sugar solution is strong means sugar is more. A sugar solution is light means the sugar present is less. But the words strong and light are used in our common language. In chemistry language, they are not used. Instead, we make use of the word concentrated for solutions having more strength or more solute, and dilute for solutions having less solute or more solvent. Such solutions will have less strength. So, I will give you examples. Imagine you have solution 1 and solution 2 with you. Both of them contain same volume of the solvent, imagine, but solute present in solution 1 is more. Solute present in solution 2 is less. Solvent is present in same volumes, but solute is more here, solute is less here. So, now this solution becomes concentrated solution and this solution becomes dilute solution. Or it can be even the other way around. If both the solutions, say solution A and solution B, contain same amount of solute, both of them have same amount of solute, but more here, solvent taken is less here, then this particular solution becomes concentrated. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಲ್ವೆಂಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆಯೋ ಆ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ becomes dilute. So the word dilute and concentrated can be used not only with respect to the solutes, you can use them even with respect to solvents. Okay, if the solute present is more, then it is concentrated. In case the solute present is less, it is dilute. Or if solvent present is less, then it is concentrated. If more solvent is present, then the solution is dilute. Okay. However, the words concentrated and dilute, they are only qualitative terms. You can use them only to compare the two solutions, which is having more strength and which is having less strength. Only this can be understood using the words. If you want to know the exact value of the strength of a solution, then you cannot use these words. Instead, you need to have certain terms which give you the concentrations of solution or strengths of solution. ಈ ವರ್ಡ್ಗಳನ್ನು, ಈ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸನ್ನು ನೀವು ಯಾವ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂತ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹೊಂದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಬಳಸ್ಬೋದು. ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂತ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ, exact values if you need for the strengths, then we have to take the help of some concentration terms, and those terms are the topics of our class today. Okay, so I'll go to those terms one by one. These terms not only give you the qualitative knowledge, they also give you the quantitative aspects of strengths of solution. So, concentrations of solutions. There are many ways to express the concentrations quantitatively. ಒಂದು ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ನ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂತನ್ನು ಬೆಲೆಗಳ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಲು ಅನೇಕ ವಿಧದ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ನಮಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. The first concentration or the first term among them is mass percent of a solute in a solution. So the first concentration is mass percent of a solute in a solution. A similar term you have come across even in compounds, is it not? What was that? It was mass percent of element in a compound, or percentage composition of element in a compound. So this is very similar to that, but we do not have element now, we have a solute. Instead of a compound, we have now solution. Okay, so let me define this. Mass percent of solute in solution is defined as, or it is equal to, mass of the solute in the solution divided by solution. Solution includes in it solute and the solvent. So when I say total mass of solution, it means total mass of solute and solvent. And because it is in percentage, because you need to express it in percentage, multiply by 100. So even the previous formula in the compounds was similar. Here you had mass of element, here you had molar mass of compound and multiplied by 100. Okay, so both the formulae are very similar, it is easy to remember. Now, using this, let us work out one problem. Let's see an example. Imagine you have a solution wherein 4 gram of a solute. The solute can be anything. It doesn't matter. You take 4 gram of a solute and dissolve it in 16 gram of the solvent water. I'll take 4 gram of a solute and I'll dissolve it in 16 gram of water. What is the mass percentage of the solute? Of course, in the solution. So if this is the situation, how do you find out mass percent for your solute, for your 4 gram solute? I'll make use of the formula. Mass percent of solute is equal to mass of solute, nothing but 4 grams divided by mass of solution. That means solute mass plus the solvent mass. Solute mass is 4 grams, solvent mass, water mass is 16 grams. Then multiply it by 100 from the formula. So it is 4 by 20 into 100 or 1 by 5 into 100, that is nothing but 20%. So in your solution, how much of the solute is present? It is 20%. Okay. So that was the first concentration term or first way of expressing concentration. Now coming to the second, it is called mole fraction of solute in the solution. First was mass percent and the second is mole fraction of the solute in the solution. This is defined as mole fraction is defined as number of moles of solute. So now you have to consider the quantity moles, not mass. Number of moles of solute divided by total number of moles in the solution. It includes both solute and solvent. And there is no multiplication by 100 now because this is not a percentage term. Okay, so this is the formula for mole fraction, number of moles of solute in the numerator and total number of moles of the solution in the denominator. I'll take an example. Imagine I have a solution made up of two components A and B. A is, say, the solute, B is, say, the solvent, then mole fraction of A is my solute. Mole fraction of A becomes number of moles of A divided by total number of moles, that is Na plus Nb. So, number of moles of solute divided by total number of moles of solute and solvent. Okay, so this is a general example for mole fraction. We will work out a particular example. I have a solution which has 2 moles of glucose in, say, 8 moles of water. What is the mole fraction of glucose? How much is glucose? 2 moles. How much is water? 8 moles. You need to find out the mole fraction of glucose. Okay. Formula: mole fraction of solute, nothing but glucose, is equal to number of moles of glucose. Is it not? I will not write the formula again. You have to write it when you work out the problem. So, number of moles of glucose to total number of moles of glucose and water. No 100 here, no multiplication by 100. So, 2 divided by 10, that is nothing but 0.2. Okay. So, this is the mole fraction of glucose. Mass percent will give you the answer in percentage, whereas mole fraction will give you values between 0 and 1. Now, see that mole fraction does not have any unit, because in both the numerator and in the denominator you have the same term moles which get cancelled with each other, and this becomes a unitless quantity. Okay. So, this concentration term, let us now go to a more common concentration term. It is generally used in our laboratories while preparing different solutions. It is the more familiar concentration term to us, and that is nothing but molarity of a solution. Okay, what is the definition of molarity? It is defined as the number of moles of solute dissolved in 1 liter of the solution. Solution 1 liter ನಷ್ಟು ಇರಬೇಕು. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಟಿನ ಮೋಲ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಂಖ್ಯೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೋ ಅದೇ ಮೊಲಾರಿಟಿ. Let me formulate this. The symbol for molarity is capital M. This is equal to number of moles of solute divided by volume of solution, of course in liters. Remember, the volume must be taken in liters, in no other unit. So, molarity is equal to moles of solute by volume of solution in liter. Let us work out a problem. If 4 gram of NaOH is dissolved in, say, 250 ml of the solution. 4 gram nastu sodium hydroxide, it is a base having the formula NaOH. So, this is present in how much of the solution? 250 ml. That means 0.25 liters. Is it not? 1 liter is 1000 ml. 250 ml andre 0.25 liter. Liter na 4 bhaga. Okay, so if this is the situation, what is the molarity of the solution? Let us work out this. I have the formula for molarity. Molarity is equal to moles of solute divided by volume of solution in liters. Now, so let us find out number of moles first. Number of moles, that is N solute, is equal to mass by molar mass. In while solving molecular formula problems, I have told you that if you divide the mass by its molar mass, then you get number of moles. Okay. So, what is the mass here for NaOH? It is 4 grams. And molar mass of NaOH is 23 plus 16 plus 1, that is 40 grams. So, 4 by 40, nothing but 1 by 10, 0.1 mole. So, moles were not in the problem, mass was there in the problem. Now, mass anna mole agi convert ಮಾಡಿದೆವು. So, it is 0.1 mole. Okay. Now, I will come to the formula. Number of moles is known to us, it is 0.1. Solution volume is 250 ml. How much it is in liter? It is 0.25 liters. Is it not? ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ conversion? 250 ml ಗೆ 1000 ಇಂದ divide ಮಾಡಿ. Then you get 0.25 liters. This is 0.1 mole divided by 0.25 liter. So, that comes out to be how much? You do it using calculator. 0.25 is nothing but 1 by 4. So it will be 0.4. Is it not? 0.25 is 1 by 4. When it goes to the numerator, it becomes 4. 4 into 0.1 is equal to 0.4. So molarity is 0.4. What is the unit of molarity? It is very clear from the substitution step that unit is mole per liter. So 0.4 mole per liter. This is the unit of molarity. This is how you can solve the molarity problems. I told you already that molarity is the most common concentration term used in our laboratories. In laboratories, what we do is, we prepare and keep solutions of higher concentrations. Laboratory ನಾವು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ನ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂತ್ ಇನ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಡ್ತೇವೆ. Such solutions are called stock solutions. Okay, those are called stock solutions. ಆ ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಬಳಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಯಾವಾಗ ಬೇಕೋ ಆವಾಗ ಲೋವರ್ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಹೌ ಟು ಡೂ ಇಟ್? ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ಗೆ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಅನ್ನು ಹಾಕಿ. Okay, stock solution you take and you add required amount of water to it, then the concentration of the solution reduces. Is it not? Solvent ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದರೆ solution ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Dilute ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Concentration of the solution reduces and you get lower concentration solution. For this purpose, we make use of a formula, a well-known formula, M1V1 is equal to M2V2. ಇಲ್ಲಿ M terms ಏನಿದೆ, ಇವು molarity terms ಆಗಿದೆ. And of course, V1 and V2 are the volumes. M1V1 is before dilution. Dilution ಅಂದ್ರೆ addition of water. And M2V2 is the term after dilution. Okay, now to understand the process of dilution, let's solve a problem. Imagine you have a solution of strength means concentration, 1 mole per liter. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬಳಿ 1 molarity ಅಥವಾ 1 mole per liter ನ solution ಇದೆ, and its volume is say 1 liter. Okay, so your stock solution, solution of higher concentration, is having the molarity 1 and volume also 1 liter. So this is your stock solution. Now, how much water should be added to the above stock solution to prepare 0.1 molar. Molar andre mole per liter. To prepare 0.1 molar solution. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ತಿರ 1 molarity 1 ಲೀಟರ್ನ ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಇದೆ. ಅದನ್ನ 0.1 ಮೋಲಾರ್ ಆಗಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಓಕೆ, 0.1 ಮೋಲಾರ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗಿ ಪರಿವರ್ತಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ how much water should be added? So this is the problem. I'll make use of the formula. Formula is M1V1 is equal to M2V2. This is before dilution and this is after dilution. Okay, so before dilution, what is the molarity? It is 1. What is the volume? It is 1. Molarity is 1 molar and volume is 1 liter. Okay. After dilution, ನೀರು ಹಾಕಿದ ನಂತರ, what should be the molarity? It is 0.1. Volume is not known. Dilution ಆದ ಮೇಲೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. So what it will be? V2 is equal to 1 into 1. Okay, this 0.1 goes to the denominator, it becomes 10, correct? V2 becomes 10 liters. The problem is in liters. Problem alli ml kotre, here also you have to write ml. Okay, so dilution na modalu estitu volume? It was 1 liter. Dilution na nantara V2 volume should be 10 liter. 1 liter iddadannu 10 liter ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ how much water you need to add? You need to add 9 liter water. Is it not? 1 liter ittu 10 liter ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, you have to add 9 liter of water. Therefore, water to be added is equal to final volume minus initial volume equal to 10 minus 1, that is 9 liters. So this is how, by taking the stock solution, by adding required amount of water, you can prepare a dilute solution. The formula that helps you is M1V1 is equal to M2V2. There is one more interesting thing to learn from molarity, and that is, in the molarity formula or in the molarity definition, you have the term volume. It is number of moles of the solute dissolved in 1 liter of the solution. Is it not? There is a volume term. And you know very well that volume is dependent on temperature. Temperature ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆದ ಹಾಗೆ, temperature vary ಆದ ಹಾಗೆ volume ಕೂಡ change ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Temperature ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದರೆ volume also increases. So because volume depends on temperature, molarity also depends on temperature. Remember, molarity alli volume term ide, volume temperature na mele depend agide. That is why molarity also depends on temperature. So this is one more interesting thing to note regarding the molarity of a solution. Fine. Now coming to the last concentration term, which is very similar yet different from molarity. Somewhat it is similar to molarity. There is a difference. And that term is molality. The fourth concentration term is molality. See the change? It is not R here, it is L, molality. Okay. This is defined as number of moles of solute dissolved in 1 of the solvent. So, the first part remains the same. It is the same as that of molarity. Number of moles of solute dissolved, same part you had even in the definition of molarity. But in what? In molarity, it was 1 liter of the solution. In molality, it is not volume, it is mass or weight. It is 1 kg of the solvent. So, second half is different. You are not taking here the volume, you are taking the mass of the solvent. Let me formulate it. Molality can be denoted by small m, capital M for molarity, small m for molality. Numerator remains the same, moles of solute divided by denominator is different. Instead of volume, I will write now a weight of solvent, not in liters, it is in kg. Is it not? Volume was taken in liters there, here weight is taken in kg. Remember, it has to be kg, it can't be gram or something else. So, moles of solute by weight of solvent in kg. This is the way we formulate molality. Okay, so let us do a problem. If say 2 gram of NaOH is dissolved in 100 gram of water. Which is my solute? It is NaOH. And which is my solvent? It is water. Sodium hydroxide is 2 gram, water is 100 gram. What is the molality of the solution? I need to find out molality of the solution. I will make use of this formula. I need NaOH moles, is it not? I need moles, but do I have moles? No, I have mass of NaOH. So, I will first find out at a side moles of NaOH from mass. ಮಾಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮೋಲಾರ್ ಮಾಸ್ ನಿಂದ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ moles find out ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. How much is the mass? It is 2 gram given. How much is the molar mass? You know, in the previous problem you found out it is 40 grams. So, it comes out to be 1/20, that is 0.05 mole, correct? So, mass is given in the problem 2 gram, but I want moles. I will convert mass to moles by dividing mass by molar mass. I will get the answer as 0.05 mole. Okay. Now, I will substitute in my main formula. Moles are 0.05 divided by weight of the solvent. Solvent weight is 100 gram. But do I want it in grams? No, I want it in kg. 1000 grams andre 1 kg. So 100 gram means how many kg? 0.1 kg. Is it not? How do you do it? Again, division by 1000. Previous problem alli milliliter annu liter maduvaga divide by 1000. Here also grams anna kg maduvaga divide by 1000. You get 0.1 kg. So this will give you the final answer as 0.5 mole per kg. Okay. So what is the molality of the solution? It is 0.5 mole per kg. Dividing by 0.1 is nothing but multiplying by 10. 10 in the multiply maduvaga you get this answer. Of course, you have calculators with you which you can use. What about molality? Is it temperature dependent? Molarity was temperature dependent. What about this? This is not temperature dependent. Molality is independent of temperature. ಇದು ಉಷ್ಣತೆಯ ಮೇಲೆ temperature ನ ಮೇಲೆ ಅವಲಂಬಿತವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. It is independent. Why? Because molality does not have any volume term. Molality doesn't contain volume term. Because there is no volume term, it is temperature independent. Volume term idre volume temperature ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಕೂಡ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಆದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಟರ್ಮೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಮೊಲಾಲಿಟಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ becomes independent of temperature. So with that we have seen all the 4 concentration types. So let us recollect today's class. Our topic is reactions in solutions, and in order to understand the solutions well, we need to have the knowledge of concentrations of solutions. The word or the terms concentrated and dilute are only qualitative terms. They don't give you quantitative meanings. In order to have quantitative knowledge, we have to make use of the concentration terms like mass percent, mole fraction, molarity and molality. The most common among these concentrations are, remember, molarity concentration. Okay. So with this, we not only finish today's class, but also we have finished the entire unit, basic concepts of chemistry. I hope it was